You might have heard that live shopping is exploding. And I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop, prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No, you can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's ZENNI.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. Happy Friday. If it's a Friday when you're listening, happy Friday. So, two people walk into a restaurant and they step up to the bar. It sounds like a setup for a joke, doesn't it? But I assure you what happens next is a whole lot more serious. I have a friend, his name is Joel Comm. He's a New York Times bestselling author, and he has a favorite question he asks people. He wrote a book about it called, So What Do You Do? It's a great way to open doors. We'll talk about that, but I have a client who was asked that question, and her answer changed her life. And it was so simple, it was so cool, and I'll share it with you today, and I'm thinking it'll probably change yours too. Has that kind of power. Hang in there. It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com. Life begins when you move. I was contemplating motivation today because I'm kind of obsessed by it. Way back in the beginning, I was like, okay, I can motivate myself. I can motivate anybody else. And very quickly, within like 2.5 hours, I figured out that, wait a second, life gets in the way. Now what are we going to do? The disruption shows up. So I kept looking for it. I said, okay, well, is it inspiration? I said, oh, well, not really. It's motivation comes before inspiration for sure. But what comes before that? Where does motivation come from? An age-old question comes from deep in the mind. And lately, I've been digging in to cravings. Because you crave certain things in your life, don't you? And what I've noticed is that when we crave certain things, if we use it for good and not evil, it kind of leads, because if you crave a good thing, it kind of leads to that motivation you want, right? We'll talk more about that here in the future, because the whole goal is this. It's really simple. Whatever dreams and desires you have, and you should get them because you deserve them. Why? Because you're breathing. That's it. But it's going to take a little bit of challenging work throughout every single day to overcome all the stuff that gets in your way. And that's what this show does. We just get over stuff and keep moving no matter what happens. Honest about it. Take it head on. Keep on moving and come up for air and do it again. My name is Scott Smith, founder, chief motivating officer here at motivationtomove.com. A question every single Friday before we get to our story and our strategy today is, how do you want to feel? This is really cool. We talk about this all the time. Being an emotional or a logical person, you are an emotional person. So when you at least ask yourself, how do I want to feel? You probably say this all the time. I don't want to feel that way. Why does he make me feel that way, right? Well, just ask yourself, how do I want to feel? And answer that question. I guarantee it's going to be a good thing. The more you do it, the more those neurons begin to fire up there, the more your unconscious brain, the reptilian thing way down there, the more it says, gotcha, I got your back, will make you feel good. So ask that question today when you get done. How do you do it? It's pretty simple. When this podcast is over, the music goes away, just stop it, pause, and say, how do I really want to feel in my life? And give a second for it to come to you and watch what happens. It's very, very powerful. So how do you want to, we asked that already. So what do you do?
This episode is brought to you by Google Chrome. You think you know a browser, but Gemini and Chrome? That's new. It can help you with practically anything on the web, like restoring a vintage motorcycle from a 50-page restoration blog, or finally break down that long article you've had open for weeks. Gemini and Chrome is here for it. Ready to make anything online make sense? There's no place like Chrome. Check responses, setup required, compatibility and availability varies, 18+.
What do you do? A simple question. It's something you probably have encountered before. If you're a salesman or go to conferences, things like that, you know that one of the easiest ways to get a conversation going is to ask somebody what they do. Frankly, I have found that when the conversation comes around to me and I want to distract from me, I just say, so what do you do? And boom, instantly it goes over to whoever I'm talking to, and they love to hear somebody asking about what they do. So it's a great way to start a conversation. But my friend Joel wrote that entire book about that, and he's a really good networker. He's the guy that invented, by the way, the fart app on the Apple Store. First one ever. Now there's so many they stopped accepting it, but he's the first. He's the original, and he's still making money from it. It's kind of cool. But then he wrote a cool book too. So asking a simple question like that, I tell you, if you learn to do that, so what do you do? Just do it all day, every day, no matter where you are, or some version of that. It will propel hours and hours of conversation as proven by my clients. So let me tell you about her. I will not say her name to protect her innocence. Not to say she's innocent, but in this, at least she is. While attending an event, she was right there at the bar. And a gentleman, I think it was a man, I know that, she told me that, he was standing next to her. And he asked, so what do you do? Must have read Joel's book, huh? And her quick response was to say, anything I want to. And when I heard her say that to me, I kind of smiled because it's kind of my thing too. I've been able to say that. It's a little blocked sometimes when you say that, as if people don't know what to say about that, do they? Like when somebody asks me what I do, I say, I talk for a living. They have no idea what to say about that. It blocks too hard. But anything I want is intriguing and curious. You could see the question marks, I'm sure, rising out of the ears and the eyes of the guy who asked her that question. So what do you do? Anything I want. How would you respond to that? Now, frankly, my client's answer wasn't the de facto narrative she had spewed out for many years. And I say spew because, man, we get the story we tell, we get the elevator pitch, we get our log line, whatever you want to call it. It's that thing you say instantly to let people know exactly what you do. And it used to be a 30-second pitch. The elevator pitch was at the right of the elevator. Now I think it's more like 9 seconds so we can get a goldfish to understand what we're doing. But she's nearing retirement, early retirement, younger than I am, and she's retiring. Retirement is overrated. I don't think I'll do it. Still, the next phase of her life is kind of unclear. I think a lot of people get that point in life. And listen, I don't care if you're retiring at 20, 30, 40, 50, if you changed directions today. Even if you know what you're going to do, isn't it unclear? It is. It's either to be 55 or 65 or 35 or 25, whatever. You can retire anytime you want to, but it's going to be unclear. And she knew that. So her de facto narrative for over the years was this ID, this identification that she had, this identity about who she was. And she got so good at saying it in all the years of networking. Does it sound like something you may have done? And now she's going in this new phase and she didn't know what to say. So her default answer now became anything I want, which is kind of a defensive way to do it, but it's kind of cool because all she said to me was, I wasn't going to talk about my past. I didn't know quite what to say about my future, but it scared me to death. So I just said anything I want. So when I heard that, I loved it because it did what I called a transitional identity. It allowed her to at least park herself on that phrase, anything I want, and be proud of that and stand there. And she didn't really care what the response was going to be. But what happened was, even though she was so fearful in her own mind about this change she was making for herself, she was more fearful of what others would think, what others would say. What would they do with her response? Anything I want. What would they do? She should not have been that fearful. Because what happened was this. Even though she didn't know what was going to happen, she didn't want to talk about the past. Didn't know how to verbalize the future, but she was going to say something. But when the gentleman said, so what do you do? He did so because it was an excellent door opener that allows us to kind of talk about ourselves or somebody else's interest and not ours, like I said in the beginning of the show. Something everybody loves. It's also an opportunity to do what my client did and to give a very honest answer that in her case and in almost every single case will actually stimulate conversation of the person you're speaking to. And what I heard about this, and I heard it was just a couple days ago, she told me about this, was that when she gave that what might have been a flippant, kind of crazy answer, but an authentic, real answer based on where she was in her life, and she delivered it in that way. It wasn't anything plastic about it at all. It was real. They had an hours-long conversation because his response was, anything I want. He said, oh, and what do you want? Natural, right? And she said, well, I'm retiring early from a long career that I'm not going to do anymore, and I have so many plans, but I don't really know exactly how it's going to play out. So right now I'm doing what this guy Scott says. I'm exploring the possibilities and doing anything I want with no commitment whatsoever, but every day I'm figuring out a little bit more. So, what do? If you're like me, you say anything I want to do. That's all self-centered and inside, isn't it? Listen, I got to tell you, every single one of us are better off when we reach outside to connect with other people, when we understand that it's not about being just selfish, it's about really expanding yourself. But at the end of the day, we have to take our breath in and we have to take our breath out. We are in control of that. So yes, maybe it's a little selfish, but that's how life is. You figure that out. All the rules of life are changing because that's the way life is, and you got to figure out that stuff to get what you want. Hey, coming up tomorrow, we're going to dive into curating your life a little bit. I was in a museum, and it dawned on me that this big mess of a museum was curated really nicely, and I love to curate my life, so I know what I'm doing, what I'm presenting, and what other people are hearing about what I say. We'll talk about that on tomorrow. It's Monday's show, right? Hey, have a good weekend. Join me at Facebook, dailyboostpodcast.com/Facebook. We've had a huge number of people come in this week. Lots of conversation happening. Love to see you there. Have a great weekend.